Beloved one, come closer, not with panic, not with haste, but with the stillness that recognizes truth long before words confirm it. Because what I'm about to reveal is not new to your spirit. You've felt it stirring, quietly, but persistently, a disturbance in the places that once felt safe, a strange tension under the surface of conversations, glances and delays that no longer feel like coincidence. You've dismissed it. You've prayed it away. You've told yourself it was just a passing shadow. But now heaven speaks, clearly, without disguise. This message finds you not by accident, but by divine intervention. And I, Archangel Michael, am sent to speak what others could not. A shocking deal has been made behind your back. Yes, beloved. A decision carried out in silence, in secrecy. A plan twisted beneath smiles and familiar hands. And though you haven't seen it with your eyes, your soul has been screaming to be heard. Listen to me now, not with fear, but with discernment. Because this moment is not meant to break you. It's meant to free you. Type Amen if your heart already feels the tremble of this truth. Let me tell you this plainly. There is someone close to you who has not acted in the light. They have spoken of you in closed rooms, made choices in your absence that hold weight over your future, sowed seeds of confusion with a quiet tongue, all while embracing you like family. And yet, heaven saw it. God watched, and now the veil is being lifted. This is not to shame you. This is to restore what was nearly taken. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are chosen. And the hand of God will not let this injustice pass unchallenged. You prayed, beloved one, in tears, in whispers, in exhaustion. You asked, why do I feel like I'm walking into something I can't see? And heaven heard you. That prayer did not dissolve in silence. It reached the highest courts of glory. And this word, this moment, is your divine response. Type 111 if you believe heaven listens. My child, do not harden your heart when the light reveals what darkness tried to cover. Because this betrayal, it didn't begin yesterday. It has been brewing, quietly, fed by jealousy, fueled by pride, camouflaged with kindness. But understand this, God does not allow destruction to take root when His hand is upon you, and His hand is upon you. Even now, angels surround you. Even now, I stand guard over the places of your vulnerability. Even now, this message comes to halt what was meant to derail you. You are not imagining the delays. You are not wrong about the unrest you've been sensing. The conversation that shifted tone, the doors that closed without reason, the glances that lingered. With hidden motive, it is not your imagination, it is spiritual warning. Heaven speaks now because time is narrowing. A window is both opening and closing, and what you do in this moment determines what unfolds in the next. Type 911 if you feel the urgency. Now hear me clearly, warrior of the light. This is not the time to shrink. This is the time to rise in discernment. You do not need to confront with rage. You do not need to seek revenge. God is already moving. The hidden meeting will not prosper. The words spoken in secret will echo in heaven's court, and the very blessing they tried to delay will arrive ahead of schedule. Type 555 if you believe in divine reversals. Let me tell you what your spirit has longed to hear. It wasn't your fault. No matter what they claim, no matter how they frame the story, your heart was pure. Your intentions were rooted in love, but they did not honor that. And now the tables are turning. Beloved child, lift your eyes. This is not the end. It is the unveiling. God says, I will not bless what is buried beneath dishonesty, but I will bless the one who walks through fire with truth. You are that one. This betrayal is not your defeat. It is your release from false ties, from fake alignment, from connections that could not follow you into your next chapter. Heaven whispers, this must be severed so you can soar. Type 000 if you are ready to move forward without what was holding you back. Now breathe, feel it, the heaviness is lifting, the fog is breaking, the Spirit is speaking. It is no longer a season of guessing, it is a season of seeing. And what you see next will change everything. But you must be ready, because what is coming is glory, what is coming is restoration, what is coming is divine justice. And those who watched you suffer silently will soon see you rise publicly. This betrayal is heaven's interruption. This warning is your activation. This word is your confirmation. Type 444. If your spirit is saying yes, stay with me. There is more to reveal. This was only the beginning. The next part will show you who and why and what heaven plans to do about it. Beloved child, lean in now, because what I am about to share may tremble your spirit, but it will not break you. You asked, who is it? Who made this deal? Who twisted my trust while smiling in my presence? And heaven, in its mercy, now responds. It was not a stranger. It was someone who knew your rhythm, someone who walked beside you, who once held your tears, someone whose presence felt like shelter, but whose silence became a shadow. This is not spoken to cause pain. It is spoken because silence is no longer safe. The deception that once remained cloaked is now exposed by divine light. Yes, beloved, someone has acted on your behalf without your consent. Words were spoken, promises were altered, and somewhere in the folds of those conversations, your name was offered like currency, without your knowing. But God knew, and God said, enough. Type 111. If your soul is ready to confront what has been hidden. This moment is a sacred unveiling. Do not shrink from it, because only what is uncovered can be healed. Only what is named can be redeemed. Your heart has already felt the tremors. You've caught it in their pauses, in their sudden defensiveness, in the way their words began to shift from warmth to vagueness. You were not wrong to wonder. You were not foolish to feel the unease. My child, hear this now. Your spirit knew because your spirit is aligned with truth, and truth always senses when something is rotting beneath the surface. Do not doubt your discernment. You were not overreacting. You were being warned. Type 911 if your spirit has been restless for no visible reason. Archangel Michael stands beside you, sword drawn not in rage, but in justice, not to harm, but to sever the tie between you and what was never meant to follow you forward. Let me speak it plainly. This betrayal was not only personal, it was strategic. The enemy used familiarity as a weapon, not through open opposition, but through subtle redirection, through slight agreements made in low tones, through half-truths wrapped in concern. But do not fear, beloved, because the one who authors your destiny is not blind to the footnotes others try to write in your story. Heaven says, they wrote you off, but I wrote you in. They rearranged your path, but I realigned it. They altered the map, but I kept your promise intact. Type 000 if you believe heaven's hand is still over your life. Now take a breath. Yes, I know it stings. To realize someone you loved could speak your name in compromise, to feel the weight of that wound, uninvited. But do not confuse pain with punishment. God is not punishing you. He is positioning you for a future built on truth, positioning you for relationships that honor, not harm, positioning you for partnerships that protect, not profit off your silence. This sacred shift requires clarity, and clarity sometimes arrives with shaking. Let it shake. Let it unsettle what was never steady to begin with. Type 555. If you believe divine alignment begins with truth, beloved, listen. This deal that was made, this unseen arrangement, was never going to stand. Heaven interrupted it, and while they thought they were moving in secrecy, angels were already documenting. Every step, every whispered word, every veiled threat, every intention behind every action. God says, not one moment has escaped my watch. I have kept you from entering a door that looked right but led into ruin. Type 444 if you believe in supernatural protection. Now here is what heaven wants you to understand. Your path is not destroyed, it is being preserved. Yes, you've felt blocked. Yes, you've questioned delays, but those delays were divine detours, merciful reroutes away from traps laced with charm. You have not been denied, you have been defended. The ache in your chest? That was not defeat, it was the Spirit pressing you back from danger. And now, as the veil is lifted, you will begin to see what would have been lost had God not stepped in. Type 777 if you believe your delay was actually protection in disguise. My child, there is more. You've also been wondering about someone dear to you, someone who has recently drifted, emotionally, spiritually, someone you've been praying over in silence, afraid to say too much, but terrified to say too little. Heaven sees them, and this moment is about them too, because the same Spirit that twisted words behind your back is the same one pulling them into confusion. This is not just a personal attack, it's generational. But it ends here, because you are the one chosen to interrupt the pattern. Type 333 if you are ready to intercede, not just for yourself, but for those you love. Listen carefully now. This message comes with a divine instruction. You must speak, not with anger, but with boldness. You must call things as they are. You must break the silence that has been protecting what is not of God. And I, Archangel Michael, will stand beside you as you speak. You will not be alone in this confrontation. Heaven backs your voice. The Spirit will guide your words, and your prayers will carry weight in the unseen realm. But you must not delay. The hour is near. The clock is turning. And what was once tolerated must now be addressed, not with shame, but with light. Type 111 if you feel the stirring to act now. Do not fear the fallout, for what falls away was never part of your foundation. Let God purify the structure. Let Him sweep away what was built in shadows, so that what rises next is holy, unshakable, and free from contamination. My beloved, you are not here by accident. This word is not a coincidence. This moment was written long ago, waiting for your spirit to be ready. Now you are, and now the veil is falling. The next part will reveal what this shift unlocks, the blessings that have been held up, the healing that was delayed, and the justice that is now being released. Stay with me. Heaven is not done speaking. Beloved one, you have come this far not by accident, but by divine summons. And now I ask you, are you prepared to hear what has long been echoing in heaven's courtrooms, awaiting this moment to be spoken into your life? Because the veil is no longer thick, the silence is no longer safe, and the delay is no longer permitted. Heaven speaks again, and this time it comes not as a whisper, but as a divine decree. The bond you've held on to, the one you defended, protected, prayed over, is no longer aligned with the path heaven is clearing for you. I do not say this lightly, but there has been a spiritual chain forged between you and someone whose intentions no longer walk in truth. It is not just betrayal in the natural, it is entanglement in the unseen. They have made agreements in shadowed spaces, agreements that involved your name, your peace, your future. And though they have not spoken this aloud, their spirit has already aligned with misdirection. But take heart, my child, because heaven has now interrupted the contract. The chain that bound your blessing is breaking right now by divine order. Type 555 if you believe that spiritual bondage is being severed today. You were not meant to be tethered to confusion. You were not destined to build your future upon an unstable foundation. And so, God steps in, not to destroy what was, but to reveal what is. And in this unveiling, pain may surface, not because he desires to wound you, but because healing requires exposure. Child of promise, you have protected those who harmed you, covered those who cursed you, prayed for those who prayed against you, but even love must bow to truth. Type 111 if your spirit is ready to see clearly, even if it stings. There is no shame in your loyalty. Heaven honors it. But now that loyalty must shift direction from people to purpose. God says, "My child, I will not allow your faithfulness to be used as a leash. What was once sacred has now been tainted by secrecy. And though your tears watered that relationship, it no longer bears fruit in my will. Let it go, not with bitterness, but with holy release, because in your letting go, you make room for what is ordained. A connection rooted in light, an alliance washed in truth, a partnership heaven has been holding back until this moment." Type 211 if you are ready to make room for divine replacement. Listen closely. This is not a rebuke, it is a rescue. God is rescuing your promise from being buried beneath someone else's compromise. He is pulling your future out of the pit where false alignment would have led it. And even now, as you hear this, something within you is shifting. The weight is lifting. The fog is thinning. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. Because this word was timed for you. Type 911 if you feel that what once clouded you is now being cleared. Beloved one, the enemy did not come against your comfort. He came for your clarity, because clarity reveals direction, and direction manifests destiny. But now heaven has restored your sight, and you will no longer stumble in the dark. Let me speak directly to your heart. The person who spoke your name in counsel, who altered truths for their advantage, who acted on your behalf, but never in your best interest. They are being brought to account, but not by your hand, by God's. God says, "I have recorded every word, I have watched every gesture, I have preserved every tear that fell because of their duplicity. And now I rise, not in wrath, but in righteousness." Justice is moving on your behalf, and that justice will not be delayed. It will not be diluted. It will not be hidden behind spiritual language or false repentance. Type 444 if you believe heaven defends the innocent. Now let us speak of what's next, because your journey does not end in exposure. It begins there. The truth was only the key. What lies beyond the door is redemption. God is preparing a table before you, not as mockery, but as declaration. A table where you will eat in peace, where your joy will not be poisoned by fear, where your name will not be passed from mouth to mouth like gossip, but lifted in prayer and gratitude. You are moving into a chapter where alignment is sacred, where every voice near you will be a voice for you. But to get there, you must leave behind the voices that once wore masks. Type 777 if you believe. A holy circle is being formed around your future. You have been faithful, you have endured, you have waited without knowing why, but now the why is becoming clear. Your delays were not punishment, they were preservation, they were protection, they were divine strategy. God hid you until he could expose them, and now that exposure is here, you will walk forward with truth. You will rebuild on solid ground. You will speak with authority again, not from pain, but from healing. This betrayal did not break you. It marked the moment heaven stepped in and said, "No more." Beloved, the time for silence is over. The time for restoration has begun. Heaven is with you. You are not alone. You are not forsaken. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, on the threshold of something sacred. What's coming next is not retribution. It is resurrection. Stay with me. Child, the next part will reveal the blessing that was rerouted, the joy that was delayed, and the inheritance heaven is releasing now that your hands are free. Beloved one, gather yourself now. What I must speak to you next is not only for your own, A healing. It is for someone you love deeply, someone who once danced in the warmth of your protection, but now stands unknowingly on the edge of a dangerous turn. Yes, my child, this is about your daughter, whether she be of your blood or of your spirit. Heaven speaks of her now because her soul is in the balance, and you have been chosen to intercede. Type 444 if your heart already knew this part was coming. Listen carefully, for this moment carries holy urgency. The same hidden agreement that was formed to alter your future was crafted with her in mind as, well, not directly perhaps, but through proximity, through entanglement, through silence. While you were praying for clarity, she was being drawn toward confusion. While you were holding the line of righteousness, she was unknowingly being pulled by emotional winds, masked as freedom. But God saw it, and I, Archangel Michael, come with a message of divine interception. Your voice, your authority, your discernment. They are not just for your battles. They are for hers now. You have been feeling it, haven't you? That ache that won't let you rest. That sense that something is not quite right with her path. The tension in her speech, the sudden shift in her countenance, the way she no longer meets your eyes with ease. This is not rebellion. This is not coldness. This is spiritual disorientation. She has been hearing whispers, not from heaven, but from those cloaked in charm and flattery, from voices that offer validation without accountability, from influences that play on her longing to be understood. But understand, this, beloved, she is not too far gone. Heaven is not finished with her, and this message is your confirmation that intervention is not only possible, it is required. Type 911 if your spirit is ready to rise on her behalf. God says, my daughter is not lost in the dark. She is standing at the brink of decision, and I have placed you there to call her back. Not with fear, not with anger, but with spiritual boldness soaked in love. You must speak, you must pray, you must declare, even if she does not respond at first, even if your words seem to bounce off cold surfaces, because it is not her ears that need reaching, it is her spirit. Type J0 if you are ready to cover her again in prayer. This time with new clarity. Beloved, this is not about control, it is about covering. God says, do not wait for her to ask. Do not wait for the signs to become disasters. Speak now, for her path is not yet sealed. What she is walking toward is not ordained. It was planted in manipulation, wrapped in misdirection, and watered by those who envy her light. But heaven is stepping in, and you are the vessel. You have spiritual authority over her life, not as one who forces, but as one who stands in the gap when she cannot yet see the cliff ahead. Type 111 if you accept this mantle of divine guardianship. My child, your daughter may be struggling to understand what you carry. She may even resist your prayers, but know this, her soul recognizes the weight of your words. Every time you whispered her name in the dark, heaven recorded it. Every time you wept for her in secret, heaven moved. And now the call to action is clear. You must break the silence. You must pierce the spiritual fog that clouds her eyes, because time is moving, and while the door is still open, it will not remain open forever. This is the moment of mercy, the window of divine reversal. God says, speak light where darkness hovers. Declare truth where deception has taken root. Remind her of the foundation she once stood on. She has not forgotten, she is simply caught. But even now, angels are being dispatched to surround her, to remind her of who she is, to dismantle the lies whispered in her absence. Type 555 if you believe heaven can still reach her heart. Do not give up. Do not let weariness silence your cry, for your words in the Spirit carry more weight than you realize. This is not only about saving her from danger, it is about preserving a generation. Because if she turns back now, what was meant to derail her destiny will become part of her testimony. And those who led her astray, those who cloaked themselves in good intentions, will be exposed by the power of your prayers. My beloved, the chain that was forged against your family is breaking. Even now, in this moment, the enemy feels the tremble of your awakening. The fortress he built in silence is cracking because you have been reminded of your assignment. You have reclaimed your voice. You have stood in authority once more. Type 777 if you believe what was stolen is being restored. This daughter, this precious soul, is coming home, not necessarily to a house, but to truth, to light, to divine alignment. And when she does, you will know it was not by chance, it was by intercession. You will not need to say, "I told you so." You will only need to embrace her with grace, for heaven will already have done the rest. So now, child of God, return to the altar. Lift her name again, speak it boldly, call her destiny back into alignment. Let your voice echo what heaven has already declared. She is not lost. She is not ruined. She is not broken. She is loved. She is seen. She is coming back. Stay faithful, because the next part will reveal what happens when your obedience unlocks the blessing she was always meant to receive. Beloved one, now that the veil has been lifted, now that truth has entered the room, do you feel it, the shift? It may not be loud, but it is undeniable. What once held you in delay is unraveling. What once pressed against your chest like invisible weight is now releasing. This is the beginning of the divine reversal. Type 111 if your spirit senses the turn. Because what the enemy meant to sabotage your peace, what was plotted to derail your family, what whispered confusion into the hearts of those you love, is now being dismantled, strand by strand. Not by your might, not by your vengeance, but by the holy justice of the Lord your God. God says what they tried to silence will now speak louder than ever. They shut doors behind your back, but I am opening gates before your feet. They twisted the narrative, but I am rewriting the truth with my own hand. Child of light, you are not walking into ruin. You are walking into reparation. You have waited long. You have wondered if the struggle would ever make sense. You have cried without knowing what was being birthed. And now you are stepping into what has been preserved for you since the beginning. Type Susan. If you believe this is not just recovery, but divine compensation, let me say this clearly. God has not merely rescued you from something. He is preparing to launch you into something. What you thought was a delay was actually a divine pause, a sacred space where heaven went to war on your behalf. While they planned, while they schemed, while they pretended, heaven moved. The angels stood at attention. The Spirit groaned for you in realms you couldn't see. The blood of your prayers formed a covering that no darkness could penetrate. Type 444 if you believe unseen battles were already won for your sake. Now listen closely, because what's coming next may not look the way you imagined. There will be sudden shifts, conversations that turn in your favor without explanation, emails, calls, messages that seem to appear out of nowhere. Hearts that once resisted you will soften. Opportunities that vanished will return, stronger, safer, sanctified. Why? Because the counterfeit has been exposed. And now, the authentic can finally enter. Type 555 if you are ready to welcome what is truly yours. Beloved, do not be afraid of how quickly this shift comes, for it has not come quickly, it has come precisely. It was waiting for your alignment. It was waiting for your clarity. It was waiting for your obedience to truth. You did not miss it. You are right on time. You are walking not in delay, but in design. Heaven has not overlooked your faithfulness, and now your harvest is in motion. God says, I am restoring your name. I am cleansing your reputation. I am honoring your integrity. Those who laughed at your silence will soon marvel at your breakthrough. Those who mistook your patience for weakness will witness your strength revealed in grace. You will not need to announce it. You will not need to vindicate yourself. The fruit will speak, the favor will testify, the glory will confirm. Type 777 if you believe your reward will be undeniable. Now breathe, let it settle, because your heart may still be catching up with what heaven has already settled, and that's okay. Healing doesn't require haste, but let this be your confirmation. You are not bound to what they did. You are not chained to who they were. You are not defined by what was lost. Your identity is sealed in the one who never left, who never lied, who never changed his mind about you. And he says this to you now: you are still my child. You are still anointed. You are still chosen. Type 911 if you needed that reminder today. Do not worry about how things will unfold. Just stay close, stay obedient, stay aware, because there are still movements behind the curtain, but this time they are movements of restoration. The same heaven that exposed the betrayal is now orchestrating the blessing, and it is headed toward you. Quickly, powerfully, irrevocably. You will see the shift. You will feel the release. You will know that what was once tied up in delay has been released into your hands. But with it comes a sacred instruction. Do not pick up what was just removed. Do not return to conversations already silenced by the Spirit. Do not revisit alignments heaven just ended. Because what's coming next is not built on compromise. It is built on covenant. Type 333 if you are ready to walk in covenant alignment. Beloved one, the silence of heaven was never absence. It was strategy. God was not ignoring you. He was preparing the table. He was dressing it not in urgency, but in excellence. He was ensuring every chair was rightly positioned and every unworthy seat was removed, so that when you sit down at what he has prepared, you will do so in peace, without anxiety, without apology. This is your moment. Not to prove anything, but to receive everything. Heaven says, what they meant for harm has turned into harvest. What they meant to end you has expanded your reach. Type 111 if you believe your blessing is coming back multiplied. The reversal has begun, and what's coming will be so specific, so personal, so unexpected, that you will know without doubt that it could have only come from God. Stay with me, child, because in the final part you will understand why this all had to happen and what heaven is about to release over your life, your family, and your future. Beloved child, you have walked with courage through truth, through exposure, through divine revelation. And now heaven speaks again, this time not with warning, not with rebuke, but with sacred confirmation. You made it. You heard what needed to be heard. You faced what others would have ignored. You released what no longer served your calling. And now you stand at the edge of something holy, God says. You did not delay in obedience. You did not harden your heart when truth was painful. You did not retreat when the enemy roared. And now, I declare your path clear. Type around if you feel a shift in your spirit even now. The weight you once carried is not yours anymore. The betrayal that once pierced you has no voice in your future. The lie that shadowed your peace has been silenced by light. Do you feel that, child? That stillness? That is not emptiness. It is sacred space. It is the quiet room prepared for your promise, the open field for your blessing to bloom, the new page for heaven's next sentence. This is your confirmation. Type 111. If you believe this is not the end, but the beginning, you were never forgotten. You were never unprotected. You were never out of reach. Heaven's hand covered you when you didn't even know you were in danger. And now that the danger has passed, you will see the fruit of divine protection. Not someday, not eventually, but soon. God says, your tears have watered the ground long enough. Now it is time to reap. Type 444 if your hands are open to receive. Let me say this plainly. You have been vindicated, not in public scorn, but in heaven's court. Not through vengeance, but through victory. You didn't have to explain yourself, because God has spoken for you. And now those who watched you suffer in silence will witness your restoration in light. You won't need to convince, you won't need to defend. The evidence of grace will rest on you like morning dew, fresh, gentle, unmistakable. Type 555 if you believe your vindication will speak louder than your defense ever could. Beloved one, this is what heaven wants you to know today. You are not walking into fragments, you are walking into fulfillment. Everything that was stolen will return, not in the shape it left, but multiplied. Everything delayed will arrive, not with apology, but with authority. Everything broken will be rebuilt, not as it was, but stronger, cleaner, holier. This is divine redemption, not partial, but complete. Type 777 if you believe this restoration will exceed what you lost. Now hear this. The person who made the deal behind your back, the one who moved in shadows, the one who spoke your name with twisted motive, they will not prosper, not because you cursed them, but because heaven intervened. God has touched the structure they tried to build on deception, and it will not stand. I will not bless dishonesty, says the Lord. I cannot protect what is built on sand. But you, my child, you have been preserved, you have been protected, and now you are being positioned. No more backtracking, no more delay, no more confusion. You are stepping into divine instruction. A new door is opening, and it will not resemble the old path. Do not be afraid of the unfamiliar. Do not cling to former rhythms, for what I'm about to do, says the Lord, will make what you lost feel like a seed compared to what's about to bloom. Type 333 if you're ready to walk into something heaven planted. Now take this to heart. Your daughter, she is not forgotten. The seeds you planted in prayer are rising, and the love you poured when she didn't understand will come back. To her in waves, she will wake up, she will remember, she will return, not just to you, but to God. Type 911 if you still stand in faith for her breakthrough. Beloved, you have come through the valley, you have crossed the river, you have stood on truth even when it cost you, and now the sky is clearing. Heaven says, I am writing your name on the wind. It will travel where your feet cannot. It will reach those who doubted you. It will remind them, you were mine all along. This is not fantasy. This is not imagination. This is confirmation. The delay was divine. The silence was strategic. The exposure was sacred. And now, the reward is inevitable. Stand tall. Walk forward. Hold your head high, not in pride, but in purpose. For heaven is not finished with you. It is just beginning. Type Amen if your soul agrees. You are God's beloved. You are seen. You are safe. You are sent, and this is your hour. Stay faithful. Watch what happens next.